Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Mathemagix JEE. Okay, so this is the next question, question number 6. Let V1 and V2 be two distinct non-zero vectors. Okay, define a sequence of vectors as follows. Vn plus 2 equal to Vn cross Vn plus 1 for n greater than equal to 1. Let S equal to Vn such that n equal to 1, 2, so on. Okay, and T equal to Vn divided by Vn modulus. Okay, so S is basically the collection of all these vectors that we generate by using this relation, right? And T is the set or collection of all the directions, because this is a unit vector, so it indicates only the directions, right? We already know that unit vectors are there to only specify the direction. The vector zero vector, okay, so zero is zero vector here, bold face indicates the zero vector with zero magnitude is counted if it occurs in S, okay, but not in T. So zero vector is counted in only S and not in T, right? So these are important informations. First, we have to note down in our mind. If NS denotes the total number of elements in the set S, then which of the following statements is oblique are true? Okay. So option A is saying there exist vectors v1 and v2 for which n of s is equal to 2. That means in the set S, we have two elements. Okay. So can we imagine a situation for this case? For example, v1 and v2 are two distinct non-zero vectors. So let us take this v1 as some c1 times I cap. Okay. So I cap is any arbitrary direction I choose. And then we uh, take the direction same for v2 but change the magnitude of this vector. Okay, so we choose c2 I cap, right? If we generate this v3 here by the relation here provided in the question statement, we can see v3 will be v1 cross v2. So v1 cross v2 will give us 0, right? So v3 is the null vector. So that means how many elements in the set S we have? Yes, we have total 3 elements. Okay, in the set S we have v1, v2 and 0 vector. Okay, because after this v3 every other vector will be 0 vector. That means in the set S, as we are counting the 0 vector here in this set S, we have to account for this 0 vector here, right? So we have total ns equal to 3. That means ns equal to 2 will not be a possible case, because at least we can have these three vectors here. So there exist vectors v1 and v2 for which ns equal to 2. This option will be wrong and this option will be definitely correct. Now coming to option C, there exist vectors v1 and v2 for which ns equal to 4. Okay, so if we choose this, let's say any other combination here, we choose v1 equal to c1 I cap. Okay, and v2 we choose orthogonal to this v1 vector, so let's take c2 j cap. Okay, then our v3 vector will be c1 times c2 will be there times I cap cross j cap. Okay, v1 cross v2, right? So we have c1 c2 k cap. Then again, if you generate v4 by using the same relation, you will get, it will give us a direction of k cap cross, this will be, no sorry, this will be j cap cross k cap. That means again we have this I cap vector here. Okay, so if we take this particular case, let's say for example c1 equal to c2 is equal to 1. Okay, so we choose only the unit vectors. That means v1 equal to I cap, v2 equal to j cap, then v3 will be simply k cap, right? So then if we generate v4, v4 will be v2 cross v3, which is j cross k is equal to I. And if we generate this vector v5 here, we will get v5 will be v3 cross v5, v4, right? So k cross I will give us j, right? So again we can see this j is generated. That means we will get a cyclic repeated pattern, right? I, then j, then k, then again I, j, k, and so on. That means if we take this particular case, we have n is equal to 3, right? Because zero vector is not occurring here. So we have only these three vectors, I cap, j cap, and k cap. So if we think in this way, we cannot have this ns equal to 4, right? Because in this case that we just discussed, we had ns equal to 3. Now let us take this specific case, okay? So this case is actually a bit tricky. For example, we take this case, we take v1 equal to some I cap plus j cap, okay? Then v2 as some j cap, okay? So these are distinct non-zero vectors of this set S. Then we have v3 as v1 cross v2, right? So if we cross v1 and v2, we get I cross j is equal to k cap plus j cross j will be 0. So v3 equal to k cap, that means v4 will be v2 cross v3, which is equal to j cross k equal to I, right? And then v5, if we calculate, it will be k cross I, which is j, right? So we can see this circular pattern or this cycle of 3 repeats again in this case. So we have here in this case a is equal to I plus j, then we have I, then j, then k, right? So this special case contains these four vectors. That means there exist some vectors v1 and v2 for which n is equal to 4. This statement is also true, right? That means option C will be also true. Now let us check this D option. If for some v1 and v2 the set S is infinite, then the set T is also infinite. Okay. So if we check this case, let's take v1 equal to some c1 I cap, okay, and v2 as some c2 j cap. Then we have v3 equal to v1 cross v2, so c1 c2 k cap, right? So v4, if we calculate, we have v2 cross v3, which is c2 square c1 j cross k will give us I, right? Now see, in this case, if let's say c1 not equal to 1 and c2 not equal to 1, that means these vectors are not unit vectors, okay? Then the magnitude of these vectors will be different, right? So as the magnitude of the vectors are different, the vectors are itself different. That means the set S, which contains all these vectors v1, v2, v3 up to vn, will be an infinite set, right? But think about the directions of these vectors. The directions are here I, then j, then k, and then again it is repeating over this cycle of 3. So again I, j, then k, then again I, j, k, and so on, right? So T is some finite set. It contains only 3 elements: this I cap direction, j cap direction, and k cap direction, right? Because we already discussed, T is the set or the collection of all the directions of these vectors that are in the set S, right? So S may be an infinite set, but the set T is finite in the case that we just discussed. That means option D is definitely wrong, which means the correct options for this question will be option B and option C.